Peace, peace. What up, brother? Good to see you here. Andre, peace, peace. Black Quartz, yep, been a minute. As y'all know, I was on vacay, my honeymoon. It was nice. The only thing I can tell you is this: Hawaii is overrated, super expensive, ridiculously expensive. And once you've been to one island, you done seen them all. They all kind of look the same. That's what I can say. Very beautiful there. Just super, super duper expensive. I'll tell you how expensive it is. For 2 Subway sandwiches, no combo, just 2 Subway sandwiches and 2 drinks, it was $27. I couldn't get breakfast anywhere than less than $43. Shit is ridiculous. I mean, like, super expensive there. The average cost, $27 for 2 Subway sandwiches. The average cost of a house in Hawaii is $800,000. And that's $800,000 for just a 1,200 square foot home. I have a 1,200 foot square home right now. And my house at the most is only worth like 200 something thousand. In Florida, you could get a 2,000, 2,500, or 3,000 square foot home for like 300,000. They're crazy there. Crazy. Basically, it's just become one big tourist area. You hardly see any of the native Hawaiians or Samoans or Polynesians. 54% of those islands are Japanese, Chinese, Filipinos. You hardly see the native population. When you do, it's far and few in between. It's just straight tourist city. Tourist island, tourist state, that's all it is. And then to get there takes hours by plane. That was torture. Torture to get there. Real torture. Yep, it's basically a resort state. It's Honolulu, Waikiki is basically a resort city. But the whole island is expensive, like super expensive. Ridiculous. But anyways, y'all, quick announcements before we get into the actual discussion this evening. For those who signed up for the necromancy classes, now that I'm back, you can start emailing me any questions you have about the training program. We're going to try to set up sometime during this week to next week, or maybe even wait till after the holidays, depending on what people say, a time where we can have a private group discussion on week 1 necromancy training class. So let others know that I'm back, those who aren't here, that I'm back, and that we will start getting into the necromancy training classes now that I'm back. Hopefully you had a time to exercise, do the exercises, practice them, things of that nature. So get your questions ready, things of that nature, and we'll go into it. Now, this evening, this was kind of impromptu, so I don't expect a lot of people to show up. But anyways, let's get it on and popping. The primal versus the ceremonial. Primal magic or sorcery versus ceremonial magic or sorcery. What is the main difference? There is a difference. Primal magic will always, without contradiction, be more powerful than ceremonial magic. Now, some people may say, wait a minute, what do you mean? We'll get to that. Despite all of the preparation, meticulous observations, carefully planned correspondences, and infinite plans made by the ceremonial magician, such things are only conducive to the linear mind and are of no interest whatsoever to the subconscious sphere of the brain, where true magical power gains its genesis. Let me repeat that one more time, just in case you missed it. Primal sorcery or magic will always, without contradiction, be more powerful than ceremonial magic, despite all of the preparation that a ceremonial magician does, meticulous observations, carefully planned correspondences, and infinite plans made by the ceremonial magician. Such things are only conducive to the linear mind and are of no interest whatsoever to the subconscious sphere of the brain, where true magical power gains its genesis. Now, as we know, a lot of us have been taught to look at time in a linear fashion, past, present, future. Time does not work in that fashion. Time is continuous. What I mean by that is what we can consider the past is 30 seconds ago, something I said. That is the past. What I'm about to say is the present. And what I'm currently saying, what I'm about to say is the future. And what I'm currently saying is the present. And they run simultaneously. They don't run in a linear fashion. They run more of a circular vibratory frequency pattern. It's important to understand that when you work your magic. Because if you're doing magic and you're trying to affect the future and you are linear in thought or linear in mind, you don't realize that the future is corresponding with the present and the past simultaneously. So if you have this conception or you conceive in your mind as time moving in this linear fashion and you're trying to affect something tomorrow, then you may not understand that what you're doing now is concurrently affecting what you would perceive as tomorrow. Keep this in mind when you work your sorcery or magic. We'll get more in depth as we go on, but keep that in mind. The voodoo sorcerer, the primal sorcerer, the dark witch, the anger gypsy, the chaos magician, etc., etc., etc. All of their maledictions carry more power than the empty pomp and ceremony of the right-hand path ceremonial magician. The ceremonial practitioner defeats the natural flow of their own power and the power of the forces they are calling upon by the constraints, pedantic measures, and at times ridiculous extremes of their ritual preparations. This is one of the reasons why I don't participate a lot in ceremonial magic, because from my personal experience, it kind of defeats the impromptu, the natural flow of creativity, the natural energy and ebb and flow of your mind is kind of defeated when you put it in a ceremonial fashion. Not saying it doesn't have a place. Ceremonial rituals do have a place, but it kind of defeats it because now you're in this construct of an ordered system that may be laid out or dictated by others. Where, in essence, if you let your natural primal self flow, you will reach into the depths of your subconscious mind and be able to bring about greater results impromptu because of the desire and the passion behind whatever it is you're trying to work at the moment than trying to do some elaborate scheme or ceremony. This is why you will not see myself at a lot of rituals. It's not a personal thing against anyone or anybody. I just have gotten away from a lot of that into more of the primal sorcery or ebb and flow of this sorcery that comes deep from within the subconscious mind. Instead of laying it out in XYZ, I rather just flow ABC through Z, and wherever it takes me, it takes me. Okay? The workings of the grand opus of the gateways of chaos, also known as the gateway of hell, the underworld, okay, are powerful and raw. They are primal black arts, which forge instant connections with the demonic beings of the infernal legion, and which tap naturally into the latent powers which lie within us. For those who work with demonology or work with demons, these primal, genius, supernatural, super intelligent entities or beings, you have to understand this. Demons are not interested in the size of a magical circle, or if you have taken your cleansing. They have no interest in if you have fasted the day before ritual working, nor do they care if you summon them on a Tuesday or a Sunday. They are called by desire, will, primal, and carnal energy, and by the intense passion which should lie within the sorcerer or sorceress. Let me repeat that one more time, because I think we, as individuals, get caught up in this nonsense sometimes. Demons are not interested in the size of your magical circle, or if you have taken your cleansing. They have no interest in if you have fasted the day before a ritual working, nor do they care if you summon them on a Tuesday or Sunday. They respond and are called forth by your desire, your will, primal and carnal energy, and by the intense passion which should lie within the sorcerer or sorceress. Keep that in mind, because I think far too often we get caught up in, oh, did I cleanse before I did this ritual? Oh, I have to do this on Wednesday because Wednesday is the day that someone told me this goetic demon or this goetic entity or energy or this demon is supposed to be connected or contacted with. Who told you that? One, and why did you accept it? Because the minute you accepted it and you practice, let's say, using the Goetia, and you practice it the way it was laid out for you, you're no longer doing it for you. You're doing it for the person, or you're doing it in the sense of the way the person created it, and you're just following along doing it. So you're really feeding the originator of that goetic formula, then creating your own goetic formula. If you feel you have to do it on a Tuesday, you're mistaken. You're getting away from the primal, the essence of the chaos, the essence of that power, and falling back to an ordered system. Now, you should have some level of order in your life, but chaos is eternal. And you should be able to master your chaos and bring your personal chaos under order, but realizing you'll never totally eliminate that chaos. So once you keep this in mind, you start to become more proficient in your work. Let's continue. Ritual is a powerful tool, no doubt. The very setting up of the infernal altar and donning of the black ritual robes creates a setting which stimulates the subconscious mind for the practicing of the dark items. But these things are aesthetic. For aesthetics are raw visual conduits and catalysts for the power of magic within ourselves and the power of the demons also. But keep in mind, In right-hand path magical orders, and even some of those of the left-hand path, such aesthetics and subconscious triggers are taken to nonsensical proportions, overtaking the natural emotive forces and magical energies themselves. Ceremonial magic is observed and practiced far more often by right-hand path occultists than those of the left-hand path. Such observed practices are no more than showmanship, pomp, and ceremony, pandering to the linear mind which controls such people. The true occultists, especially those of a darker aspect of the occult, needs no such pomp, prompts, or calculations in their workings. For example, this individual involved themselves in the practice of left-hand path tantrism, also known as Vamamarga or Red Tantra. And they combined that or flowed with the raw goetic sorcery, at times merging the two. These ritual workings are so direct and raw in their foundations as to be performed with no preparation nor endless corresponding observations. They utilize imitative, sympathetic magic, the forces of sex and death, the biological magical properties of our own bodies, and the power of the spoken word, and they are some of the most potent and productive workings that this individual ever partook in. Okay? Such practices are rarely published, though, particularly those of the left-hand path tantrism, which are held in secrecy much of the time due to the insidious and nefarious elements involved in its rites. Most texts published on goetic magic are of the kind in which the spirits are summoned up under the command of a god with no connection to these spirits, which is an insulting and vile way of practicing magic. My workings with these spirits were primal and direct. No magical circles, no triangles, no demands, nor constraints. Just pure, undiluted communion and conjuration with these powerful and mighty jinn. I once had the honor of speaking with an occultist who utilized goetic conjuration merged with the practices of Voodoo. Although never taking part in these practices myself, what he relayed to me appeared to be rites of raw, dark, and beautiful formulation. The individual, the author of this, says, I have incorporated techniques and elements of the goetic and tantric magic I have performed in the past into some of the workings of the grand opus of the gateways of chaos or hell, and have produced powerful and deeply profound practices and results, gestating into an allegiance of great depth with the demons of the underworld. Always take the primal path over the ceremonial path. If you truly seek to gain alliance and merging with the demonic spirits of chaos, it is to this form of occultism which they respond willingly. True, they can be conjured in a ceremonial fashion, but by doing so, you will lose the prospective respect and allegiance which can be obtained. Also true, they can be commanded to manifest through the foul workings of the right-hand path priest, but no true dark occultist would undertake this method of magic. For those who do, I would say they should observe their preparations very well indeed, for the demon, if given chance, will exact a terrible and just revenge. Now understand this. The reason I brought this up is because I realized in the time I was away how systematic we are as a people, how systematically controlled we are as a people, and how we feel that everything has to be in a systematic fashion. What that does is it takes away from your creative nature. What it does is it also dilutes your work because you're working from a predetermined or pre-created ritual, either from others, from a book, or wherever you found it. Where's your own personal creativity in your conjurations, in your summoning, in your own work, where is your creativity? If you have to, I'll give you an example. Just a question. If somebody never told you about the Goetia, if somebody never told you about the demons or anything else, would you still be able to make contact with these demons? And would they, too, go by the same names that are used in the Goetia? Think about that. And I can almost guarantee you that some of these demons do not go by any names that are used in the Goetia. We are readily accepting what others have printed for you, what others have revealed to you as being the way to work with demons. Yet, the realm of demons is beyond comprehension. The amount of entities that exist within this realm are beyond formulation. What I mean by that is to be able to really sit there and say, okay, well, these are the 72 major ones, let's say. These are the dukes and the kings, and somebody created that for you to accept. And you readily accepted it, and you work in it based upon that system. So when do you create from a primal essence your own system, contacting the demons that are not readily known, conjuring and summoning and coming forth to assist in your work if that's what you choose? To be raw, to be primal, is to really dig in to that realm and find things that are not so readily known, not so readily accepted, not so readily written down. To be primal is not to be constrained by formulas, by rituals, or things of that nature. It is to come from the very raw essence of who and what you are, regardless who likes it, regardless who fits in it, regardless what people think about you, and work in your shit. Now, there's a few of you who are on here right now on this video who I know are pushing the limits of working this primal sorcery, pushing the limits to discover, to define, and to recreate what has been presented to us. See, we so commonly want to fit into this neat structure instead of realizing you're a chaos being. You're a being of pure chaos. You were birthed in the chaos. You come from the chaos realm. You were birthed in the chaos into this realm of existence, and then we were sedated, made docile by order, by truth and justice, based upon who or what, again, I ask? And it comes down into Kemet's Ma'at. So in order for Ma'at to be created, this means chaos had to have existed before that. And before that order, truth, and justice, you were in an existence or in a state of pure creation, pure transformation, pure elevation in all sense of the words. So when we start to accept these things as, okay, order ab chaos, out of chaos comes order, then you lose the essence of who you are as that primal being from the chaos realm that came from the black hole and was germinated by life essence, simultaneously giving birth to the chaos beings who then manifested into the physical, losing their minds or their memory of themselves being a chaos demon or a demon of chaos, trying to conform into a nice, neat structure of being a human, a human being into this set rules and foundations of what it is that we should be or should not be doing. of this society morals, morality. And all the while, you keep losing the very essence of yourself. You forget Set being that primal chaotic being, that primal demonic energy. You forget that part because you're still too busy trying to be Shiva and trying to walk the fine line between Shiva and the darker aspect of Shiva is Rudra. So you walk the fine line. You're not dark enough, but you're still light enough. So you're right in the middle as a gray. Never realizing, well, if chaos was first, before the light was birthed, then I was and have always existed in darkness. Leia, the light became the blinding aspect of life. The light became that which blinded me to my true self. So why am I so busy trying to straddle this fence and walk the fine line between dark and light and, oh, I'm a gray or everything else, instead of picking a side and saying, you know what? I've lived in the light. Since I was born, I lived in the light when I came into the physical and was inundated and indoctrinated with nothing but light, garbage, doctrine, and bullcrap. When do I say I'm going to see what this so-called opposite polarity of light, I'm going to see how far it takes me. I'm going to see where it takes me, how deep it takes me, or how elevated, or whatever you want to say. If you really want to understand the light, embrace the darkness. Then you really will start to understand what the light is, what the intellect is, and things of that nature. But no, that's too scary for a lot of us. Because we still want to define ourselves based upon human standards, based upon what we have been given and dished out to accept. However, start beginning today, tomorrow, whenever you see fit, begin the elevation of being primal, being creative, sparking yourself into being what's the word? Spontaneous. You don't always have to wait till you get home and say, oh, when I get home, I'm going to do a ritual. By the time you get home, you probably forgot about what you were going to do a ritual about, and then your energy, your focus, and your desire for it has basically dissipated. The demons are ancient powers existing long before the gestation of the world upon which we live. The demonic being is not concerned with the time you conjure its power, nor the day or the month. These are concepts created by humankind and mean nothing in the realms of chaos or hell. It is true that certain colors and other elements have worked their way into the magical practices of the traditional Luciferian, Satanist, chaos magician, left-hand path, etc., etc. And other elements, such as wearing of the black robes, the use of red and black candles, and the use of symbols, such as the cross, inverted pentagram. But understand that these are all aesthetic correspondences, not correspondences held true by demon themselves, just held true by the human mind. Those true chaos beings are creatures of the night, a creature of desire and passion, a conjurer harnessing the emotive forces of wrath and carnality and working with the currents of death. Aesthetically, red and black correspond to these areas within the human subconscious. Black has long been associated with the night, the dark side of life and death, just as red has long been associated with the emotive forces of anger and wrath and also sexuality. We see these colors used in many areas of life which adhere to the sexual, dark, and the deviant. For instance, some people who are into the fetish movement, S&M, bondage, things of that nature, will often decorate themselves with black and red hues. They are also popular colors in the underground subculture of the goth movement, and colors often associated with the vampire of myth and cinema. The red and black utilized by the Satanists are aesthetic colors, which resonate with their personality, subconscious connection to sex and death, and connection in general with the more underground subversive elements of society. This is much different than suggesting that the force of a physical planet's energies will only be harnessed if the candle and the ritual is of a certain color. Does the energy of Jupiter truly care that the candle conjuring its energy is blue, or that the man-made seal is forged from tin? Of course not. Such idea is nonsense. However, magic works greatly on belief and the power instilled into the belief over the centuries, and so a planetary magic rite incorporating such correspondences will be potent, as throughout time such planets have developed an almost egregoric power forged from the constant belief and faith put into them. The color attributes are far more concerned with the stimulation of the senses. Your typical individual Luciferian, Satanist, left-hand path, dark occult, is dark and carnal by nature, would not feel comfortable performing any mass or ritual in a bright yellow robe in a ritual room painted orange, not conducive to the atmosphere at all. The magician does not need to master the skill as others have of these aesthetics. What you should be mastering is your visualization skills and be able to see how much you can recall from something you just looked at. This is important because it helps expand your memory. Demons have no concern on matters such as taking cleansing baths before ritual, or remaining without food for a certain number of hours before communing with them. The demons react to the power of the word, the true desire and the need that you put forth, the expression of emotions, and how real you are when you conjure that energy. This is why sigils and seals are not necessarily required in the operations of demonic conjuring and black magic workings. The demon's power is not summoned by the sigil of its nature, but by the force of its name. Yes, the sigil can provide a good conduit to harness the demon's current, but it is the name of the demon itself which is truly important. Think about the warnings you have seen in occult books regarding not speaking a demon's name aloud. These warnings stem from the knowledge of the occultist that just the uttering of a demon's name summons its energy towards you. It is also the reason that the exorcist of the Catholic Church needs the name of the demon possessing the possessed human before it can be exorcised. The exorcist has no power at all until it can address the demon by its true name, for that is where the demon's power resides. So, being that's the case, this is why mantras or utterances or hikaos are important. When you, especially the name, when you know the Ren, like in ancient Kemet, they say the Ren, right? The name, it has power, because when you know the name of a person, that name is attached to the vibration and frequency of that person. You know the name, you can use that name for or against that person. This is why the power of knowing the name is important. Remember well the word, the will, desire, and the demonic. These are the true cult keys to the mastery of the infernal magic and the rites of the black arts. Enter with this knowledge into the workings of the grand opus of the chaos, the grand opus of hell, and without the chains of fear and false morality, and you will succeed upon your infernal path. All right. Lean Yummy, that is directly from Darth Bane. All right, let me scroll up, see what people have said, and then we'll take some questions. Primal magic, put it this way, primal magic is magic in its rawest, purest state, without all the trimmings, all the aesthetics, all the the rituals, things of that nature. It is magic or sorcery in its purest, rawest state. That's essentially what primal magic is. It is erasing all of the constructs that we've created as human beings into how to operate or create magic or use magic or do magic. Alex, yes, that's 100% correct. Primal magic is fueled by emotion, drive, desire, and will. All right, it's good. Now, when it comes to banishings on the left-hand path, a lot of practitioners on the left-hand path do not banish. They do not perform banishing rituals because they're working with the energy. Whatever comes forth, they're working with that energy. Now, you can do banishing rituals if you feel that you've conjured up some energy that's really harmful to you, then yes, you should do a banishing ritual. But for the most part, a lot of left-hand path practitioners do not do any form of banishing. Yes. Michael Cannon, that's right. You take the information, assimilate it, and work your own way. AP, you're welcome. Andre Polk, that is 100%. It is very sad that so many do talk about working with the Goetia, different things like that, and rarely tap into their own mind, their own frequency and vibration, and tap into those chaotic realms to pull forth their own workings and creations. Instead, they easily rely on someone else's work. And then from there, they get stuck. They get stuck in that, and they wonder why sometimes they don't get results. You're not getting results because you're still following someone else's system or ritual other than tapping and utilizing your own creative forces to tap in and work and contact and create what comes forth for your personal benefit, your vibration and frequency that someone else can't possibly totally understand. That's right, Alex. That's 100% correct. When you work your own with spontaneity, with your emotion, desire, and passion, you do get powerful results. The key is when you walk this path, specifically the left-hand path, you get the results you need, not always the results you want. We all want nice things. We all want the good things, the lovely things. But when we get some result and it doesn't seem exactly what we want, we go to crying, we go to running, we go to dissing the shit and saying, oh, this doesn't work. But in actuality, it did work because you got what you needed, not what you wanted. And what you need sometimes can be hurtful, sometimes can be eye awakening. But it is what you needed. And then once you understand that, you understand the power of chaos, the power of destruction, and how that power can totally change your life, flip it upside down, and rearrange it. So then your path, your obstacles are overthrown, and you, the God, control your life more than ever. Ninth Disciple, email me afterwards. I'll send you the information where I got this from. It's from what's this? His name is Father Elias. All right. So just hit me up and I'll email it to you. No problem. Any other questions? Now, I know if y'all don't have questions after this, couldn't tell you what's happening in this world. Y'all should have some questions. Some serious questions. Because trust me, when I do this private necromancy class and I address y'all questions, I'm going to have some serious questions for you guys who are taking that class. Because there's some things that still baffle me to this day on how people could be working this and they're still going through certain things in their life. It's baffling, y'all. It's really baffling. Lean Yummy, yes. But here's the thing. Lean Yummy. People are gonna look at you as strange because you're different. When you walk this path, you're different. You don't make excuses for your bullshit. You don't make excuses for your failures. You don't make excuses for your habitual pattern. You don't make excuses for any of that. You don't blame no one. You don't point the finger. You take total control, total responsibility over your life. One, that's going to make you strange already because the predominant nature of people is to blame something outside of themselves for their present existence, when in fact they are the creator and manifester of their present existence. Okay? That's one. Two, if you're attracted to this path, you already have an energy and vibration and frequency that's totally different than the average person. That in itself is going to make you weird and make people attracted to you because they're going to want to find out more about you. Okay? So yes, Lean Yummy, that's correct. 305 Capricorn. It's a necromancy class that we started on how to contact, conjure, commune, and speak with spirits. Okay? It's a training program. It has exercises to help develop your psychic skills and abilities to be able to really communicate with the spirits. Okay? And it takes you to another level. Now, if you want to find out more about the classes, email me. I put my email up here afterwards. Well, actually, I put it now and then I'll put it again at the end. Email me and I'll discuss that in private and might make an exception to allow those late comers who might have not known an opportunity to get down with it. Okay? Charles Hayes, are you saying the Ouija board or Oki board? Now, if you're saying the Ouija board, let me say this. Whatever you feel works for you, work it. Charles Hayes, I feel you 100%. I'm originally from the Bronx. Puerto Rican from the Bronx. Puerto Rican can be very spooked out and religious individuals. I'm sure you know that living in the Bronx. Super Catholic or super religiously spookified individuals as well. How do you think my family looks at me? They look at me as crazy. Okay, weird. Just something ain't right with that boy, right? But what I learned is this. I learned not to get in confrontations with people when it comes to religion or things of that nature. What they do is what they do. So long as you don't cross the line and try to disrespect me or get into what I'm into and then try to talk ish, we good. So a lot of my work I keep private. That's why I'm not out there with the extra visible attire of an occultist wearing pentagrams and all kinds of stuff. I wear a lot of this. What I have on is what I wear a lot every day. And I don't draw the attention to me because I know the mind of people. Because my focus is on my development, not attracting people who are controversial or going to try to cause some stupidity. So my focus is on me. So I keep it low key. Once they get in a conversation, then they'll know what I'm all about. So yes, focus on getting the knowledge, working the knowledge, living the knowledge. That's what's important because that's the true deal about everything. Okay? It's not so much others and how they look at you, feel about you. Just work your shit. That's what it's all about. And your results will show, and then you'll see that people will be attracted to you in a sense for saying, damn, bro, how you manifesting all this stuff? What you into? What you doing? Because they're going to see how your results are bringing forth a new life into it, a new life for you. That's going to make them want to know more. Real 5 Capricorn, I think we all gone through that, especially walking more of the occult path. You're gonna go through that. It's a guarantee that a lot of us are gonna go through that because of the indoctrination and brainwashings our family have gone through. But like I said, best thing is get the knowledge, work your shit, and stay out of controversy with these people. Keep it PC with them. See, the problem is a lot of times we get this knowledge and we want to kick it out and drop it on people. And you're making yourself a target when you do that because they're going to look at you as crazy for one. Two, you're stepping on their toes, lips, and head. And some of them just, they can't handle that. So get the knowledge, get your power. Don't worry about them people. Your results will show, and in time, they'll be curious about what you're into. That's a perfect platform to share a little bit at a time. A Confederate cemetery. Son, you crazy. Oh, shit. A Confederate cemetery. Yeah, but that's how you do it. Get one of them racist Confederate spirits, bind them, force them to do your work, and work some shit. That's right. Lean Yummy, you learn from all people. You learn from all subjects that you can in school and everything else. That's how you walk it. That's how you walk through life. It's the best way to do because when you call that attention to you, you're going to get undeserved attention or unwanted attention that's going to cause problems in your life. Black quartz, that's 100% correct too. Everybody is loco. crazy. I accept the crazy in other people. I can't say they accept the crazy in me all the time, but I accept the crazy in other people because that's what I find unique about people is what we consider crazy or different about these individuals. That's what makes an individual unique. Being like everybody else, conforming into what everybody else is doing, acting like what everybody else is doing. You're a boring individual, in my opinion, if you're like that. You understand? People who are like that, you're boring. Be yourself. But that means be yourself wisely without attracting unwanted attention to yourself. All right. A good book to get is called The Black Ship. Okay? Can't remember the author right now, but it's called The Black Ship. In that book, the individual, the author shares how you can contact your own personal demon. Because all of us are demons within ourselves, but we've just forgotten. And you have a demon, or what some call the genius self, the true self, or the higher self, whatever you want to call it. That's your true self. There's ways to communicate and contact the true self, okay, which is the demonic part of yourself. And that demonic part of yourself is in contact and connected to all other demons within the demonic realm or the chaos realm, okay? Keep that in mind. Check out that book called The Black Ship, and you will guarantee make contact with your demon and other demons and find out their names based upon what their name is, not based upon Goetia or anybody else's format. That's right, Duma, it's Malthus. So it's The Black Ship by Malthus. Check that book out. Very good book, and it'll help you a lot. Okay? Any other questions? Bring it, people. Oh, shit. See, Duma's taking it to that level. I mean, Andre's taking it to that level because that's one of the things that is discussed in the necromancy training class. He's taking it to a whole nother level by laying on the grave. Something tickles your ass, Andre, let me know, man. Let me know if something tickles your ass. Then we know you're working some shit, bro. I'm just saying. Charles, me personally, no, I never had a demon wanted me to hurt someone or or other things for their needs, because I'm the God and I'm the one in control, and I will not let a demon manipulate me to do anything other than what I choose to do. In the necromancy class, you learn all these techniques on how to be the master over the spirit and control that spirit, whether they're malicious, whether they're ignorant or not, because every spirit can serve a purpose. I'll give you an example, and this may help Alex as well. True, those spirits could be ignorant because he's in Confederate Yard. However, I just may need an ignorant spirit one day to fuck some shit up that is necessary. So the more spirits I have in my house, meaning not my physical house, but my house of demons or spirits that I work with to accomplish some work, I just may be able to find the right demon or spirit for that kind of work that is necessary. So yes, on the average, you may not want to work with an ignorant spirit, but it depends what you're needing it for. Okay? Because some of these Confederates are straight ass, crazy ass soldiers. And if you want to F some shit up on the physical realm, you need more of a soldier spirit to handle that for you. 2, something I learned in Palo Mayembe. Sometimes it's easier to control a white spirit, meaning a Caucasian spirit, than it is an African or Hispanic spirit. African and Hispanic spirits can be stubborn ass people sometimes. Just saying from experience, they can be stubborn as hell. Sometimes a Caucasian spirit is easier to control. Just from experience. Everybody got to do their own work to figure out what works for them or not. All right? There you go. See, it all depends on the work and what you need it for. Lean yummy? No. On this path, you could do a ritual taking a shit. Now, it may sound strange to you, but it's true. You could do ritual taking a shit. Now, you probably say, yo, what the hell does this dude mean? Simple. Let's say somebody crossed the line and disrespected you. Okay? You have a pen, just happen to have a pen in the bathroom. You take the toilet paper, you write the motherfucker's name on that shit, and wipe your ass with it and dump it in the toilet. You just did a ritual. That easy, that quick. That may sound crude and rude and crazy, but it works. All right? It works. So you write the name on the paper and wipe your ass with it, drop it down the toilet. It works. That's right, Black Course. That's how this stuff works. Spontaneity, primal kind of sorcery, on the spot. This person crossed the line, wipe my ass with them. You shit, bye-bye. So keep that in mind when you work in these rituals, y'all. Keep all of that in mind when you're doing this work. That primal, that spontaneity is more effective at times than some ceremonial, long drawn out ritual. It has its place. I'm not saying it doesn't. But I've learned in these last several years more and more, when I'm spontaneous, doing primal thing, I have more results than when I am doing some organized ritual. That's just me. Some of y'all may find it different. Every individual is different. And I accept that reality to be true. But as for myself, it just doesn't work that way. When I'm more spontaneous, I get better results. And going to a ritual room all the time, sometimes you open a circle, you close the circle, you do the invocation, the evocation, you call on the spirit, the energy, or whatever, yada, 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 yada. That's routine. You're doing a routine and you created a habitual pattern out of it and don't even realize it. When you can simply go to your backyard and do some work out in nature that might have more profound effect than you just sitting in an altar room or in front of an altar. Yes, he does have some very good work on mental energy, and it's good to extract information from all kinds of authors and people to do what you need in your work. If that works for you, Necrocannon, keep doing it, because you're extracting as a god what you need for your pattern, for your path, as opposed to just sticking to one thing. That's correct, Andre Pope. It's intense shit when you work that kind of magic. It's intense, but it works. Yeah, that book I read, Mental Magic, I read it a while ago, and it's very good. Very good book. AP, you're 100%. The MC or the master of ceremony at a ritual actually does gain more than you do because if they created the ritual, they actually are absorbing your energy in the ritual because you're feeding that person your energy more than you realize because they're the authors, initiators of that ritual. I'm not saying they're doing it for malintent. That's not what I'm saying. I am just saying when you look at it realistically, you're feeding them your energy based upon the ritual they created for you all, and their heart could be in the right place, and sometimes it is. But even then, you still are feeding them your energy in some level. So they get more benefit off of you than you possibly could. Lean yummy, that is 100%. Ritual work can hinder, box in, and limit the primal essence and start in yeah, that part. It does hinder and it can hinder your flow. It can hinder your work. But as long as you remember that, you start to become more spontaneous and start to create things more at the spark, at the drop of a dime from within yourself. So this is why in the necromancy class, the work, the exercise is based upon you as the individual doing the actual work with your energy, frequency, and your consciousness. You gaining the power over that. You learning to work it from your way. Yeah, sure, it's written. I put some of that together. Yes. But if the exercises are you initiating and executing from your mind, your power, and your frequency to make the results happen. Outside of that, after the necromancy classes are done and we move on to something else, more and more you will see that the purpose of me creating these classes is for me to eventually not to have to do shit. What I mean by that is putting the keys in your hands that has always been there, but you just might be a little unsure, have a little doubt, whatever. Putting the keys that have always been there to use, meaning, yo, you have the key, use it. You might need a little motivation, so here's a little something. So that eventually you don't need no one. That's the purpose of creating these classes, okay? To show you that you are the one who is doing all of this. All of us, somewhere in our family lineage, have been connected to the occult. Some way, somehow, we just forgot in time. I know in my family, they were practicing Santeria, Palo Mayembe, and Sansi for a couple hundred years in Puerto Rico. So this occult kind of knowledge and information was passed down to me through DNA. I'm the one that picked it up because the rest of my family is too religious. The rest of my family is too Christianized. Do you understand? So this is in you. It's in your blood. This is a part of your DNA. You're just now reactivating that part that has long been forgotten. Sure, there's been teachers and people coming here and there, but they really are not the person who sparked you in consciousness. You're giving credit to the wrong person. You know who sparked you in consciousness? Who sparked you in your path? You did. And have always done that. Sure, you could thank Dr. Phil, you could thank all these people, but you already knew this and it was in there forever. You just forgot. And hearing them speak might have triggered that part of yourself that was laying dormant. But you did the work to be at the right place at the right time to hear this information, read this book, or do this or that. So for people who love to worship all these other teachers and all these things, Cut it out. You the God, you sparked yourself to this state, this conscious state of awareness, this conscious existence. People always want to thank somebody else or this person, and these people brought it to the melodic community, and that did. Who gives a damn who did what, where, when, and how? The point is you're here now, and you're working it now, taking yourself to the next level. That's it. JG, that's correct. Listen. Do y'all really know the power of the subconscious? I mean, how powerful the subconscious mind really is? You know, the subconscious is like the middle path between the unconscious and the conscious. If you learn how to bring the subconscious to consciousness, you also are able to tap into the unconscious and bring more awareness to the subconscious back up to the conscious. Is the power is learning how to take the unconscious and make it more conscious. The subconscious, being the gateway between the two, is able to take information from the conscious mind and the unconscious and filter it into your mind through dreams, through symbols and things of that nature. That's right, Lean Yummy. On the spot, impromptu chaos. That's the way to work it. Shamanic Mystic, peace. Well, your past life has something to do with your present. However, I'm of the opinion, this is just my opinion, I'm not stating some scientific fact here, because much of what we talk about will never be looked upon as scientific facts by many, just as long as you understand that. But listen, your past life can have an effect on this life. For example, let's say in your past life you were a monk or a nun or something of that nature, and you took a vow of celibacy or you took a vow of poverty. And then you wonder why in this life you can't freaking make a dime to get ahead. Or you just can't get the right sex partner to thrill you or excite you. Well, that's because those vows have passed into this life. And you have to break those vows and basically restart your path or life today. In that way, yes, it can affect you. But one of the reasons why we forget about a lot of the things of our past life is because you're in this life today. And your purpose in this life is to continue off from where you left off at the last life and go to another level. If you knew too much of your past life, people would get depressed, sad, stuck, angry, upset, or something where they wouldn't be able to elevate in this present life. So a lot of times we can't retain a lot of that past life information is because you're supposed to be focused on the here and now. You're living now. Your life is about transforming now. Yes, DNA-wise, it can affect you, okay? Through your ancestry, through what has come out, it can affect you to be attracted into certain archetypes, certain magical systems to work with that. So yes, in that sense, it can affect you. Like, for example, I've gone over this over and over. Through my DNA, I have African, which comes from Ghana, the Akan tribe through my mama's side, and Senegambia area. From Senegal and Gambia area, I have that too from my mama's side. From my daddy's side, I have the Congo, the Mabuti tribe, and I have Nigeria or Nigerian, which comes from the Yoruba tribe. That's just the African side. So this might explain why at one time I was attracted to Santeria and I was attracted to Palo and things of that nature. Taino side, which is the indigenous or what people call Native American side. This is where my attraction to some elements of Native American work or shamanic work comes into my path. I also have ancestry from Morocco, okay? And that ancestry from Morocco is where the Moors came in. And my family, through the Spaniard side, is from southern Spain, which is Andalusia, which is where the Moors mostly inhabited for 700 years. So through that Moor side, I was heavily attracted to Islam, Sufism, jinn work, and things of that nature. Okay? Then, like I said, I have the Spaniard side through the Andalusia, through the Moors and the Spaniards there, which is where that conquering mentality, that warrior mentality comes out through that side too. That also makes me understand why I have four major spirits that I work with. I have minor spirit, but four major spirits that I work with. I've mentioned this before. One of my first major spirits is a Congo warrior, a male Congo warrior. Okay. My second is a female Congo sorceress who happened to be bisexual. Go figure. My third was a Kemetic or Egyptian high priest in the Temple of Min. Okay. My fourth is an Arab, Sufi Arab who practiced black magic and was highly spiritual, which is where I get some of my psychic abilities to see things, hear things, etc., etc. So that does relate to you as an individual from past DNA being passed into myself and affecting me today. That's good and important to understand when you're working your ish now. Wacky J, ain't seen you in a minute. T South, what's good? Happy you on the podcast. Happy you tuning in. Yeah, I was gone for a little bit, but I'm back in session. Yes, Necrocanon, that is 100% correct. That is a system in vampiric magic, vampiric sorcery, which will be a lectures that we're going to go into very soon. And yes, you can extract that energy from a person from their solar plexus, and they can lose breath for a moment. I'm going to ask y'all a question. But y'all got to be real. You're adults in here. Have you ever looked at a woman or a man, depending on your gender, and just by thought, you literally could see that they were kissing you without actually kissing you? And you were feeling that energy from them at the moment? Yes or no? Has that ever happened to you, or have you ever done that? Be honest and real. Nobody is going to report you to the vampire police. No one's going to report you. Just be honest and real. Say yes or no. All right, people, I'm waiting for the answer. 305 Capricorn, while I'm waiting for these answers, you can find it out. You could go to ancestrydna.com, and they were having a special for the holidays, which was like $69. Excuse me, you could go to 23andMe and find that out. If you really want to know what exact tribe you come from, you go to AfricanAncestryDNA.com or AfricanAncestry.com, and that's like $299. It's a little steep. So I went the cheap way to 23andMe and Ancestry DNA to get a lot of my answers. Okay, I'm happy some of y'all honest. But see, all the brothers are answering honestly. I want a female to answer that question. None but dudes saying yes, yes, yes. Let me repeat the question for some of the sisters to answer if they're not shy. Have you ever looked at a person, visualized, and felt them trying to kiss you just by looking at you, where you felt their energy, you felt their taste, you felt their lips, but it wasn't really happening. You just were looking at them. Yes or no? All right. That's another brother answer yes. Waiting for one or two sisters to say yes or no. Don't be shy. Like we just said, we're not going to report y'all. Okay? We're not going to squeal. We're not going to snitch to your hubby or your man or whatever. Just be real. I'm asking this for a reason because y'all going to know in a few when y'all answer. Okay? At least one sister answer. 305 Capricorn, I never had an issue, never had a problem. My other friends and family who done it never had an issue or problem with the DNA. So, regardless of the horror stories you heard, I've heard horror stories true. There's the Hood Diary, there's the Hood Rumor Mill, there's the media room. The point is, myself and about 20 other people I know who've done it never had an issue. You, as an individual, have to decide if that's something you want to do and go for it. We all like to hear the negative rumors, but I've never had that experience, and the other people I know have never had the experience. Has been nothing but positive results. So it's something that you're going to have to decide. Okay? Damn, Capricorn, more than a kiss. Freaky dicky, freaky dicky. Freaky dicky, freaky dicky. No, let me stop. I'm playing. Anyways, so the reason I asked that is because if you've done this, you have the energy, frequency, vibration of a vampire to be able to do vampire magic at will, to tap into people's energy, to seduce their minds and cause them to do things such as try to kiss you in their mind, and you feel the energy and the whole visualization of what they're trying to do. You feel it, connect to it, and it empowers you. Surik 3, yes, is live, brother or sister. Sir Rich 3, sorry. It's still live. We is live. So that means you have that vampiric frequency. Good to know. Because after these necromancy classes, we're going knee deep, drown deep into some vampiric black magic. We're going in. I hope y'all ready. Because some of this stuff, it ain't in the books. Okay? You cannot find it in Michael W. Ford's books. You cannot find it in Father Sebastian books. Some of this stuff I'm going to share, vampiric magic, sorcery, is from personal experience of years of doing this stuff. The reason I asked that question is because that is something that I've done for years, been able to tap into somebody's thoughts, frequencies, and vibrations to be able to seduce them to visualize things about you, to want you, to desire you. Now, this could be looked upon as negative or positive. Now, if you need a job or you have a job or want a promotion and you do this to your boss, you the man or woman, because you're going to get far ahead. And you never had to violate or disrespect yourself by giving up your physical to that person. Just a little quick science. So, yeah, something like charisma, but charisma with a right hook and a left hook from Mike Tyson. Think about it like that. Right hook or left hook from that once famous, powerful boxer, Mike Tyson. That's more of what it's like. Okay? So that's where we're going to go with the vampire sorcery classes coming up. Any other questions? Bring them up before we wrap this up. Any other questions? Any juice? Any secrets? Let me stop. Yes, distance feeding. We're going to discuss how to feed at a distance. We're going to show different methods on how to do that. And actually, when I do the class, I might actually record myself doing it, like in an actual setting, doing that to a person. So y'all can see firsthand how it really looks and works. That's correct. The guy in the movie The Matrix. All right, Alex, peace. Now that I'm back, I'll stay in touch, bro. Just got back this Friday, so I'll be in touch. All right, Alex? So, yeah, the movie Matrix, it shows how he tapped into her sexual energy just by a look, a touch of a seductive food, and she had an orgasm. Now, I know when all of y'all, or most of y'all saw that movie, you were like, yo, that's some powerful shit, dude. That's some shit. I know a lot of y'all thought that. Don't lie now. Well, what if I was to tell you that you actually can do that, and some of y'all have been doing that? I'll give you an example. 305 Capricorn from Miami. Here's an example. I could guarantee you that 305 Capricorn, and I've probably never met her, and maybe I have, I don't know, could probably seduce 90% of the people in this live chat, male or female. How do I know this? Because I could feel her energy be able to do those things that she keeps secret. All right, Susie Rich, just checking. I want to mess up people's genders and then get beat up. Black quartz, yes. You could do this with a voodoo doll. You could do this with a Barbie doll. You could do this with a dildo. You could do this with the hell else you figure out you want to do. Okay? And it works like a charm. Trust me, if I'm telling you about these things, I've done a lot of these things. 99% of them I've done. That's correct, Necro Cannon. You can actually plant a seed, cultivate that seed, and build that person's energy and then extract it at the ripe, not right, at the ripe time. Keep that in mind, the ripe time. You just have to know when the best time is to plant the seed, and then you have to keep cultivating it in and around that same time you first planted the seed. For days, weeks, or months, however long you want, to cultivate and germinate that seed. Yes, Necro Cannon, the testing grounds are open. Time to get working. So, Susie Rich, you have any questions? I have not seen you in this room before. If you were in this room, you might have had a different name. I'm not sure, but do you have any questions? Yeah. Yes, welcome to all the new people that came through today. Yes, Susie Rich, actually, when we're done, it goes up in like about a minute, and the whole feed will be available to rewatch. So yes. All right. And I'm going to take 2 more questions, then we're going to wrap this up. So ask anything. All right, Necrocannon, we will discuss mentative waves next week because that's a good topic to talk about. And Susie Rich, yes, you can tap it to someone if they are in another place. And it's a way to do this. The best time to do this, Susie Rich, is when you know that they are asleep. Okay? When you know that they are asleep, you can create a ritual and visualize them asleep and translate or transfer your body through the astral plane to visit them while they're asleep, hover above them, and visualize a tunnel like connecting from your mind or your solar plexus into their mind, and then repeat over and over the thought that you want to plant in their mind. Once you've done this, you leave, you come back into your body, and every night that you, let's say for 7 days, for example, you can revisit that, or in your altar room, you can repeat the thought that you plan in your mind while doing a ritual for 7 straight nights to make that seed germinate. You cultivate that seed for 7 straight nights by doing rituals to make that seed grow stronger and stronger. Okay? That's how you easily can tap into that individual at any point in time because you made a connection with them. Peace, and Andre Pope. So, once again, one more question, then we can wrap this up. But Susie Rich, when we get more into the vampiric magic classes, the vampiric sorcery, we'll be able to answer more of those questions for you. And I'll be able to send you information on how to actually work more of that. And if you choose to join the class, get ready because we're going in on that. And we're going to show people more effective ways to do these things. All right? One last question, and then we're going to wrap this up. Yes, do not give something you've constructed its own consciousness, because then it will seek to overthrow you, overpower you, and sometimes eliminate you altogether. This is specifically when you create servitors. Never let a servitor have his total free consciousness, because it will overthrow you in time, or try to anyways. Cool, Susie Rich. Well, hopefully you go back and watch this video today and some of the other videos, and we can work from there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, here's my email address for all individuals who are interested. Yes, program it just for your commands, to follow your commands and your commands only. That's my email address for those individuals who still had questions about the necromancy classes. Any individuals who wanted information from tonight's lecture, or just any questions you may have overall, hit me up at darkoccultist99@outlook.com, and go to my website, serpentcrystals.com, because you're going to need some material that's at that website for necromancy class and for the vampiric classes coming up. All right. So I will be back again next week. Everybody, pass the word of the individuals who weren't here that I'm back, so that we can set up a necromancy private class discussion, and then tell people, and if they tune into this, email me when is the best time, their dates and times, so we can start trying to connect and create a private class for necromancy that best fits for everybody. Okay? Until next week, everybody. Peace.